my channel. So this is a quick update on volatility 75. So like I said yesterday, we were bearish, and my bias for yesterday was exactly as I said in yesterday's video, that we're going to be bearish, and we're bearish. Okay, so those of you who actually stuck to the channel and placed your trade based on what I made mention in the video, I believe that you enjoyed your profit. All right, so this is VIX 75 on the monthly time frame, and we could clearly see that on the monthly time frame we had price coming down from this point. Price traded down from this how do we call it? So price actually traded from this let me put this. Okay, so price traded up here, came down here, so point A, sorry, point A, B, and then C. Where did I place that? sorry, the breaker rather is this. The breaker is we will rather consider this as the breaker, because this whole movement is considered as one, but this is within this movement. So this movement that came here was within this movement, so the breaker is considered to be this one. Why am I not using this, but I'm using this as a breaker? Okay, so price actually moved down to form a low here before it rallied up. So just before the low point that was formed, the last bearish movement that came in before the low was formed and the rally up was this bearish candle. So this forms our breaker. So you'd notice that when price traded into the body of the breaker of this candle, price rallied back down. Okay, and then what did price do? Price came down to take all the liquidity resting below this enemy attempt equal lows here, all these equal lows, the liquidity resting below. Then price came to sweep that equal low. Price came down again further to even sweep the low below this short-term low here, or a long-term high here, low here. And then, so are we expecting price came to do something beautiful here too? There was some nice fair value gap in here. Price wiped it beautifully and traded even slightly downwards before the reversal. So are we expecting price to continue further down to take this liquidity fair value gap resting in here, or what are we expecting? So are we expecting price to take the fair value gap resting in here, or what is our expectation? Okay, so from the monthly, let's go to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we saw beautifully that price was trending from this point, and then price came to form a low here, traded up here, came down to form a low here, and then it broke this high. So we saw that there's a shift in the structure. And what's next? In as much as there's a shift in the structure, so we have point A, point B, point C, and then shift in structure. So price had traded all the way into this area. I'm expecting price not to go too further down. So if I'm considering this shift up, these bullish candles, continuous bullish candles here, to be my breaker, price went up, traded even far below the breaker. You could see it clearly from here. Okay, and then we are seeing price rallying almost close to the breaker again. We don't know what it really wants to do. So let's go down to our 1 hour time frame. So on a weekly time frame, we could see that there's no fair value gap resting in anywhere here. So price necessarily either price traded and came to hit the other block here and then pushed up, traded back into this area, and then it's still surging back. But on the daily time frame, what are we seeing on the daily time frame? Or rather, on the daily time frame, this is what we are seeing. So today we had a strong bearish movement as I predicted yesterday. All right, strong bearish movement. So price had to rally on this big candle to this point. All right, and then as I explained earlier, that this was as a result of some rejection block that was formed earlier. Okay, so I was expecting that to happen. So let's look at it on the 4 hour time frame. All right, so I told you that there was a rejection block that was formed in here. So I was using this as a point of call for the rejection block. So price traded back into this area, took the high, and then it rallied all the way down. Okay, so this high can't be tempered with. So price rallied into the, took down the high here, and then so yesterday I told you, I think where price was somewhere around this area. Let me come down to my 1 hour time frame so that show you practically. So yesterday price in the evening when I was doing the video, price was around this area. Price was closing in on this fair value gap here, and I knew that price was going to, after closing on this gap, price wasn't going to do anything further than to break down. And the whole of today, price broke all, sold all the way down to this point. All right. So what's next? What is the next expectation? What should we expect next? All right, what must we expect next? Okay, so I want to take this I want to take this off so that we have a clean chart. So what's the next expectation as price is trading all the way down this way? So basically what most of you were seeing is, okay, so there's this fair value gap here that price had to close in, and if it closes in on this fair value gap, on this gap here, we are good to go for buy. But then I think you would mistaken if you just go ahead with it. My expectation is that price should trade down into this area. Okay, this is my short-term low that I'm expecting price not to break. This particular candle here, I'm expecting price not to break this low, but rather price can take down the low, the liquidity resting below this, but not to break this. Okay, so if I have any trade to set, I'll set my trade somewhere around this area. And then where will I place my stops? I'll place my stops below this. So I'll explain why I'm saying that we should go this way. All right, I'm going to explain why. I believe price not necessarily price should come down to that level because there's some liquidity resting below that point. All right, so I place my stop of 8 USD, which isn't much. I mean, and then I'll change my trade lot sizes, though this is for tutorial purposes, so I can't show you which lot sizes I use for my trade and all that. We are totally different account holders, so I'm trying to place my take profit level around this area where if price should retrace, although I will necessarily expect that price should come and sweep this high, but at least with this sell side price rallying down, I'm seeing price to go back and close in. So for instance, if price, I'm considering if I'm considering price to have rallied all the way from this point, so let's say if it comes down to this point, I'm seeing that price should go back to the mean of this particular price point, which is around this area. Okay, so that I can just quickly take my profit and then I'm okay on the market. So basically what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing this area, this low which was formed, okay, and then this particular price trading into this area as a rejection area. Okay, look at how price wicked inside this area. So it's an rejection area. So this is a rejection block. Okay, so I'm expecting that price shouldn't trade below that rejection block. All right, price shouldn't trade below that rejection block. So my trade is perfectly set here. I'm waiting for price to trigger it and then we are in the trade. So basically that is the reason why I have set my trade around this area, because of the price rejection inside this zone. All right, and as price trades into this area, it is almost into the other block also here, which I don't think, if it even comes further, it can just trade into, but not below this rejection area here. All right, so folks, that's basically what's transpired. So let's look at today. Typically on the smaller time frame today, typically if you were on the market, how would you have spotted trades and how would you have made entries on all that, so typically today the markets opened around this area, traded and closing on the fair value gap here, came down, gave another opportunity for you to enter on this fair value gap here. If you were not in a trade, you could have entered here on this fair value gap here. Price broke down further and then traded back up, and what was it? It traded into this. So let me be demarcating the areas where you could have easily entered a trade. So watch this. This is an area you enter a trade inside this area. Your stop is above this or above this high. Beautifully, there's another opportunity to execute a trade, which is price trading into this other block here. So price traded up here into this particular other block beautifully, and then another opportunity was presented. Okay, so price had to break down further. Okay, so price broke down further, traded back, couldn't close in on the gap here because it traded into this breaker. So where's the breaker? So this is where's the last bullish bearish movement before the push up. So this is it. So price traded here. So you could see that price took this as the breaker. So this particular candle was the breaker. So price traded into it. Last movement down before. Sorry. Last movement down before the rally up. Okay. So which is this big. This candle rather. No, this candle rather, because this was the one that has the low here. Okay, it has the low. So this one will rather consider the one with the volume. So this candle rather becomes the breaker. Okay, so it touched the wick of it and then it broke down further, and then we came to this side. Price continued breaking down. It broke down from this high. Price took down this high. You should know that we're rather going for a more serious run. So price took down the high and then boom, came all the way this way. Price traded into this, and then came to touch it the second time, and imagine what it did. It took down this high and then it rallied back quickly down, and we are still in this spot or in this area where the fair value gap is. Okay, so you could see that there's some accumulations here. All that I'm expecting is that there will be a manipulation. So my price has to manipulate and come down, take liquidity from below, and then we rally back up into the skies. So basically that is all that I'm expecting to happen on volatility 75 index. So I wish you all the best in your trading. If you are new to my channel, please do subscribe and stay tuned as I keep on giving you live update of what is happening on the market. So I wish you all the best. Enjoy the rest of the day. Stay blessed.